Yes, what is it, darling?
Mr. and Mrs. Price are here to see you.
Price. Tell me about this one.
They're the parents of David Price.
Oh, David's parents.
Yes. You didn't want to speak to them, didn't you?
Oh, yes, but this whole thing could have been handled with a phone. You know, parents can be so intimidating in person.
Should I tell them you're not in?
Oh, no, that'd be dishonest. And you know how I hate to be dishonest with parents. Unless, of course, there's a millage increase on the ballot. Well, go ahead and send them in. Oh, then take the sign with you. Where did I put that file? Here it is, David Rodney Price.
Excuse us. I hope we're not interrupting anything. Your secretary holds just come on.
Yes, Mr.
Price.
And Mrs.
Price.
Price. Nice to meet you. Have a seat. One each if you like. So, what is it I can do for you?
Well, we were under the impression that you had something to discuss with us.
Yes, your secretary left a message on our answering machine saying there was an important matter concerning our son David. Is he in any sort of trouble?
Oh, nothing like that. In fact, this whole thing could have been handled over the phone. You see, we decided that in the best interest of all involved, you should take your son David out of our school and put him in a different one. That's all.
That's all? That sounds kind of drastic to me.
Well, yes, I guess it could be taken that way.
Well, what's the problem? What's the problem? Is David a troublemaker? It can't be his grades.
Nothing like that. His grades are fine. He never misbehaves, and he does all the work required of him in class.
Well, then what is it? I mean, why do you want to kick David out of your school?
Well, it's kind of hard to say, actually. See, there's just something about David that, well, I just don't like him.
You don't like him?
Oh, I can't really put my finger on it. It's not anything he says or does, just kind of the way he says it.
I can't believe what I'm hearing. You call yourself an educator, and yet you tell us that our son should be transferred to a different school because you can't stand him?
Oh, wait a second there, Mrs. Price. Didn't say I couldn't stand David. Said I don't like him. Those are two different things entirely. Of course, if given enough time. Well, listen, I'm not the only one who feels this way. Here's a note from his algebra teacher. David is an above-average student who studies hard and pays attention in class. Pretty much a typical student, except for the fact that I just don't like him.
I don't know. Maybe you're reading something into that.
Fair enough. Here's one. David Price. Good student, good grades, don't like him. Well, that's not all. Take a gander at this petition.
We, the undersigned, don't like David Price? There must be 2,000 signatures here.
The entire student body, except for David, of course. See, even the students don't like him.
Did you ever stop to think that maybe it's not our son who's at fault? Maybe it's this school.
Yes, that thought did occur to me. So I sent for his records from his previous schools. Taft High, Tarkington Middle, Buchanan Elementary. Would you like to hear what his kindergarten teacher had to say?
No, I think we've heard quite enough, thank you. And it only goes to show how inadequate the public school system has become. Well, dear, maybe now you'll agree with me that our son belongs in a private school.
I was hoping you'd say that. Here's a list of recommendations I had copied.
Oh, how very considerate. But this won't stop us from filing a complaint with the school board.
Won't do any good.
Oh, I suppose they don't like David either.
No, actually, they hate his guts.
I think we should have a talk with our lawyer, sweetheart. I think I see a lawsuit in this matter, don't you?
Now, maybe we shouldn't be too closed-minded about this, honey. After all, Mr. Simpkins is just trying to do his job.
How can you say such a thing? Our son is being persecuted by these idiots.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to say anything about this. After all, David is my only son, but, you know, when you get right down to it, I just don't like him either. What? It's not anything that he says, you know, it's just sort of the way he says it. And don't ask me why, but sometimes when he leaves a room, it just bugs the hell out of me.
How about the way he closes a door? There's something about the way he does that. I don't know. It's
Exactly.
You don't like David because of the way he leaves a room and closes a door?
Crazy, isn't it? Boy, am I relieved. All this time, I thought there was something wrong with me.
No, Mr. Price, it's your son.
Oh,
seem that way too.
That's right. To us, David's voice is like fingernails on a blackboard. To you, it probably sounds like a song from an angel.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
Oh, how about the way he drinks his milk? Ooh, I don't know about you, but it gives me the willies. Oh, it's terrible.
The way he drinks his milk. You know, now that I stop and think about it, there is something about that just irks me. Oh my God. Now that I stop and think about it, David kind of gets on my nerves too.
And you'll take that list of recommendations I had and look it over?
Well, of course. Now, there wouldn't have to be any boarding schools on this list, would there?
The ones with asterisks.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea. We'll send him to one of those during the school year and then to camp during the summer.
And his grandparents for the holidays.
Thank you very much, Mr. Simmons. Oh, just doing my job, just doing my job. Come back anytime. Don't bring David. Nice people. Don't like the kid too much, but nice people.
Excuse me, Mr. Simpkins.
Yes, what is it, Miss Disbro?
There's some men outside. They want to know if they can turn this room into a dentist's office for the next sketch.
I said be okay. It's about quitting time for me anyway. Hey, try not to make too big of a mess, huh?